London, you are a manager.
Hey, when you come out this ground here, I try in the car park.
I'm waiting for you in the car park. Wait in the car park. Calm down. Yeah? Calm down. Just leave it. Just have it.
Yeah, but it won't change. Royal, no. What's manager one of the biggest clubs in the world?
But you know, he'd probably he wants some money to spend in January. That's the big. He's probably want 200 million to spend or to come this summer. But he will look at these players, and again, there's big problems there, big issues.
Well, I ask you, if you were to say that in 6 months' time, how many of those players that we saw today will be starting? What would be your guess?
Yeah, well, listen, it's well and good talking about getting players in, but the other issue, obviously, is getting players out. That's going to be a big problem. But again, he's been there a week. Listen, give me a chance. You know.
And he's not quite at the negotiating for a transfer budget at this stage, one game into the season. But he might just be thinking about it at the moment. Look, there are managers on that list who have had money to spend and have had a lot of money to spend. And there's a couple of second place finishes in there, one under Solskjaer, one under Jose Mourinho. But since Sir Alex Ferguson, there hasn't been a Premier League title. So what would be coming in now at this stage of the season, coming in November, what would be success for him this season, for Amorim?
I think, listen, good question again. Try and have
The thing with the title is, like, the title needs to be forgotten about for now. Because if you want to get better, you've still got to leapfrog Aston Villa, Brighton, Tottenham, Chelsea, Arsenal, Liverpool, City. There's a lot of teams there who are doing exceptional things on the football pitch. Manchester United are a long way off that. So it's almost like, do they become a cup team? But that's what they've been.
That's what they've been. And in terms of their league position, their league form, we're looking again today. Man United are, at this moment in time, whatever the problems are an average Premier League team. Average. There's so many teams way ahead of them. Again, you've mentioned a few there. Yeah, there's a long way to go for this United team. Huge job for the manager, huge job. And again, we keep saying it. Listen, hopefully he can get it sorted.
Footage shows Roy Keane's heated confrontation with fan after Ipswich Town versus Man United. Roy Keane was involved in an altercation at Portman Road after Ipswich Town's draw with Manchester United. Roy Keane was involved in a heated confrontation with an Ipswich Town fan after the draw with Manchester United at Portman Road. Keane was in attendance to provide punditry for Sky Sports on two clubs he was previously employed by, having won 7 Premier League titles with United before later managing Ipswich for just short of 2 years between 2009 and 2011. The Irishman won 28 of his 81 games in charge of the Tractor Boys and did not have a particularly positive relationship with a large section of the club's fan base. And that was evident on Sunday, with footage filmed in an ad break and posted by the Daily Mail showing Keane putting his microphone down and his hands in his pockets before walking over to confront a fan who had been hurling abuse. After a brief back and forth, Keane was then led back to the panel's pitch-side position and calmly waited for the programme to resume. According to a report from the Daily Mail, one fan had rushed down from the upper tier to shout, F******* you Keane, at him. In a second video, filmed much closer to the exchange, a supporter appeared to tell Keane, "You're a better pundit than you are a manager." In response, the 53-year-old said, "I'll wait for you in the car park and we can discuss it," as security tried to defuse the situation. At the very end, Keane's fellow pundit Jamie Redknapp came over and could be heard telling supporters to just leave it. In June, a man was found guilty of common assault against Keane after an alleged headbutt when Keane was doing punditry for Arsenal's win over Manchester United at the Emirates Stadium in September 2023. CCTV footage shared online showed punditry partner Micah Richards stepping in to defend Keane, who said he was left in shock by the clash. Keane claimed he suffered bruising on his arms and chest as a result of the altercation. Scott Law, 43, was handed a 12-month community order as well as being banned from football grounds for 3 years and forced to pay costs of £650 and a £114 victim surcharge.
Well, you're always hopeful when a manager comes into United that he can get United back competing at the top. It's not quite happened the last few years. I think the PR over the last week from the new manager has been very good. He spoke well, he's been very positive. Talks about, a lot of talk about changing systems. He's a young manager, he looks hungry, looks like hopefully he can deal with the pressure. But I'll be honest, nobody knows until he gets into the job properly, and that's getting games under his belt. You'd hope today they can come and beat Ipswich. You hope they can put a marker down, get the team competing. And it's probably just more hope than anything else at this moment in time until he gets into the job and he sees probably what the real problems are.
As Roy said, there has been a lot of talk about this change in systems. He doesn't seem like a man who's going to be particularly flexible on that point.
No, he certainly said it's his way or the highway. He's looked fresh, he's looked exciting, but of course you've got to get the results on the pitch. And if it is going to be this system, do I think he's got the players for it? I do. I think that, they've got a lot of centre-backs, this 3-4-3, however the three looks at the top end of the pitch, we'll find out in the coming weeks. But it all starts here, and this is where they've got to really, like Roy said, lay down a marker, see what they're all about. And I think there'll be a few players in this system who will start to profit from the new manager because they'll have a change in role.
Another thing that's interesting in terms of the setup, Jamie, because that's coming for a lot of criticism over the years since Sir Alex Ferguson left, is that he comes in as head coach rather than as manager. Does that suggest that he's going to have to work with the players who are already there rather than having an active role in the transfer window?
Well, I think he does need to have an active role in the transfer window, first of all, and that's why he'll need time. I know he's not signed a long-term contract, but that he needs to come in, assess the players, see which ones want to run for him. He said players don't run back. Who wants to chase, who wants to be involved and look forward to what Manchester United and what he wants to do, because a lot of players that aren't good enough for Manchester United. That's why they're in the position they are. We will see an upturn today, absolutely. They will run more because there is a new manager bounce. That always is the case. And it's just going to be interesting. But what I do like about him is that it feels like he's talking a lot of sense. He hasn't come in and tried to say too much. Sometimes a manager comes in, they probably don't get the message across. I look at him and think, yeah, you know what, I look like I want to play for you. I'd want to give my all for you. And so far, it's been a very successful, I'd say, pre-game press conferences and everything's gone well. But one thing that matters and one thing only will be results. He's got to win football matches, and if he does that, he's going to be a big success.
And the question is what he can do in the time that he's had, with the fact that the players have been away on international duty, Roy, as well.
Yeah, of course he's only had the week and players coming back and getting some sort of recovery. Yeah, of course, so you'd obviously give him the benefit of the doubt today, but you still think with United's quality, again, that bounce a new manager will bring. Ipswich particularly struggling. I know they had a good win at Spurs, but struggling at home, so no matter what position Man United are in, you'd like to think they can come to Ipswich and get a result. But I think the big surprise for all United's problems is, I suppose, the lack of goals. We talk most weeks about United having a lot of good, talented players, but we don't see it in terms of the goals. The goals ratio is really, really poor. So that's certainly an area that will improve on top of all the other ones he's got.